What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Tournament Tactics. It's NFL Week 14. Tis the season. We got the decor going. And we're breaking down the DraftKings NFL Week 14 main slate. We are man down this week. Joe Zaddy, out at the office Christmas party, but we're going to deal with it as we do. We got Burns. We got Wow. We got the Geek. Let's do this.
Let's go! Geek on the keys, Kevin Allen with the vision. BobbyWow 2 times already won 2 millions, no fiction. Burns in the shark lab, calculating the math. Wrote the damn book on how to run up a bag. Josiah pull up, the MILF Slayer in the building. GPP trophies on his neck, keep the whole chat thrilled in. Third hat, who? Not us, we eating. Hit it. Oh! Tournament tactics, we stacking the bags again. Nearly make 100, yeah, we cashing in. Helmets up, blue moon in the cup, boner alert. That over under going up. Core players lock, domination station pop. Props based projections make the whole field drop. DFS Army. Tournament tactics. Let's put.
All right, what's going on, everyone? NFL Week 14 is here. Of course, we're upset about Joe Zaddy. He's at the office party, probably getting groped by his lady boss as we speak. I mean, come on. You know that's happening. Couple drinks too many, couple eggnogs too many at the old office party. Look at the swag in Bobby 2 times background. That just makes me feel like, it makes me feel just that anything's possible. I feel such enthusiasm. See that Christmas tree in the background there? Guys, we got an interesting week. Much more interesting than last week. Not really. Actually, last week we smashed probably, I would say, the best DFS Army Tournament Tactics week of the year. If you watch this show, congratulations on the monies from this past weekend. I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a look at what's been going on in DFS Army. This is crazy. This is from NBA last night, but I was just so impressed. These are all different people with just slightly different scores. This is what we're getting. Dom Station. Guys, last week, NFL, look at the screenshot. Not 1, not 2, but 3 different DFS Army on the top of this monster contest. Guys, this is what's been going on. This fellow, wait, let me make this small. I can't see it, but Magic 11 signed up for DFS Army. First time using the domination station. All he did was secure a $75,000 ticket using the domination station optimizer and the breakdowns that we have here to crush. Dom Station is legit. 75K win. This guy's been a member for not more than 3 weeks. Third week. That's not it. How about this one? Remember I told you guys there's a guaranteed contest on FanDuel that you must enter unless you hate money. First, 10th. I mean, look at all these finishes. 20K winner, JS Vlith. Can't even pronounce it. Oh, that's not it. I'm not done. How about Frankimus Prime? Continuing the run. Frankimus Prime, you are the man. You're my hero. I've seen his name more than I've sent so much swag to Frankimus Prime's house. They started to send it back. They're like, guys, don't want it.
Getting suspicious at this point.
Yeah, I got
some undercover ring going on there with all the swag getting there.
I'm sending lady swag. This guy's a multi-time DFS Army Wall of Champions member. I'm like, do you have a wife? Let me send her a nice DFS Army lady shirt. Sliders again. Taking one down. That's what happened last week, guys. And a lot of it, listen, toot my own horn. Sometimes you got to do it. Okay? We came onto the show last week. We were like, what the fuck is this weird chalk? Why is everybody playing CJ Stroud? What the fuck is that? This guy hasn't had a good score all year. We said, let's just play Tyrod Taylor. At one point I said last week, I only want to play Tyrod Taylor. I think I'm going to play him in 150 lineups. Everybody laughed at me.
And correctly refer to him as Ty God as well.
Ty God, yes. That's not my my patented name, though. I did not make that up. That's been going around.
It's true.
For many years. So I'm not taking credit for I will credit myself for many nicknames, but not that one. So that's a big reason why we're able to smash. Jacoby Brissett again, got it done. Brisket. I had almost only Tyrod and Brisket as my 2 quarterbacks last week.
You nailed it. Nailed it.
Didn't like anyone. Couldn't figure it out. I was like, I don't fucking get it. I'm just going to play these guys.
Let's not forget, even last night, you and I were pretty pumped about Aubrey at Captain MVP, and he smashed, man.
We made the lineup on the show yesterday of Aubrey. That was the show lineup. Aubrey MVP, Aubrey Captain, guys. We're killing it here. We want you to join our team. Promo code Geek. Get in there, dfsarmy.com. Get access to the Domination Station, to the Players Club. Players Club early tomorrow for those of you guys who are watching, who partake in the Players Club. Lineup building Saturday for DFS Army subscribers and, of course, YouTube Pro members. I didn't even think of Bryce Young, but Ray Zanny's correct. Bryce Young also smashed, but that was so far off the radar, it was not even in my world of thought. So, but, oh, look at this. Look at this. Look outside your window. Look outside your window. Look, guys. Last week I made $4K using the Dom Station on $300. Players Club, huge part of it. Best way to use Dom Station is to be a VIP member. Fuck yeah. We appreciate you looking outside your window, and you have absolutely been crushing it as well. But Players Club tomorrow, 10 a.m. We're calling breakfast and breakfast burritos. Maybe breakfast like eggnog. I can't drink Blue Moons before 12 noon. Doing some breakfast burritos tomorrow during the show. All right, let's get into it, guys. Where the money is made. Let's figure out who is fucking up the chalk this week that we can fade. I actually know who's doing it, but we're going to fade it. I did see some names already that raised a curious eyebrow at the quarterback position. So let's get started. NFL Week 14 quarterbacks. All right. Josh Allen, I get that one, right? That is the game of the week. 53.5 point total. Close spread. Trey Hendrickson, Burns, declared out already.
Yep.
Not going to play.
Yeah, it's awesome. Can't wait.
It's free reign for James Cook and Josh Allen to do whatever the hell they want in this game. And it's a possibility that the Bengals will answer and create a tornado of fantasy goodness in that one. So I have no problem with that. It gets a little weird from there.
There's some weird chalk. Let me just put it out there.
Yeah.
There's weird chalk at almost every position across the board.
That's how we smash. Okay. I've now figured out the secret to crushing.
We get to the running backs. There's one that's just glaring. Like, why would you ever play that guy? Why?
So much of that. But I need that opinion.
Yeah.
Spoiler, Burns, you ruin it. Don't say
I'm not
now.
ruining anything. I didn't say anything.
Got to stick around to the running back discussion.
I know. I didn't say names or anything.
But you wanted to. I know you wanted to. It was on the tip of your tongue.
Maybe.
It was ready to go. No spoilers, guys. But right off the bat, I mean, Trevor Lawrence. He'll burn your food like Florence.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
He'll run up in your crib like his name was Search Warrants. But the last thing that Trevor Lawrence is generally going to do is win you a DFS tournament. So keep that in mind as you see he's the second highest owned. Marcus Mariota, I do not think will play. I did get word that Jaden Daniels is marked as healthy, and it looks like this will be a Jaden Daniels week. Mm-hmm. Start planting Jaden Daniels in your brain space.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is going to play in this game. It's already been ruled. I don't want to play him his first game back. Nah, I'm going to play him. I don't care. On this week, I'll play him. JJ McCarthy, this is for the people who love to burn money. I think I know where that's coming from, but I'm going to tell you guys, in general, until JJ McCarthy proves to me that he's not Zach Milfson, I'm going to assume that is Zach Milfson, and he stinks. I'm not going to say he can't resurrect. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying
until I see it, I'm not going to be early on that bandwagon. Hell no. Let the suckers play McCarthy this week. Is that fair?
Yeah, the line's flipped on that game too.
Yeah. Can I get a hell no?
Look, you know what? It's understandable to a degree, right? Because at least he's basically min price, and at least it's the Commanders' horrible defense, and he's got some rushing upside. But I'm with you guys. It's
nope.
It's a big no from me.
Hell no. Bo Nixon against the Raiders. I don't know. Not excited. Baker Mayfield next. I mean, we'll go through the players, but like that's the chalk, right? Josh Allen, good chalk. Except my one take on Josh Allen would be, I can't remember the last time Josh Allen carried a pass catcher with him to a nut score. Very unlikely. Nakey Allen,
which is fine. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Sam Darnold. I mean, come on. So some weird spots here. The fact that the guys I like are this far down the list making me happy. Makes me feel like I'm on the right track this week. I'm in this zone over here. I'm at the 4%. Dimes, I'm not crazy about, Ray-Zani. I'm not crazy about it. This is a Jonathan Taylor game on paper. So until a team can stop Jonathan Taylor, I think Dimes has a cap on how much he can score. But let's get into it, boys. Let's do our usual breakdown for the quarterback position. And let's just go studs and duds here. We have a shorter crew. We're going to be able to hammer through this, I think, a little faster than usual. So this should be fun. But in the stud area here, this one's interesting, right? The one name that I did not see as chalk was Lamar Jackson. So people are giving up on Lamar Jackson at this point. You got Josh Allen as a massively more expensive than everybody else piece. So Burns, I'll just give you the 6K and up. There are 7 quarterbacks in that salary range.
Yeah.
So of this group, give me 2 that stand out the most in the Shark Lab Burns model.
Well, up top, I mean, Josh Allen is going to stand out as everyone's favorite, shiny player to play because of the fact that his prop projection is in and around about 24, 25 points. That's like 6 points higher than anyone else, maybe even 7 on the entire slate. I think he's like 7 over top of Matt Stafford. And so it's not really close in terms of a prop projection standpoint. But that aside, I mean, he's also $7,700. Obviously, the best way to approach Josh Allen is it's either naked or I would be pairing him with James Cook in this one. That's the only way I would actually approach this game.
I don't know if I like the pairing of Cook. I think
I love it. I love it because there's so many great things there. Like you get the pass catching aspect, you get the touchdowns. Both of these guys are going to be the touchdown guys. So you're getting everything. And you're getting on top of it, you're getting the receptions and you're getting the yardage because let's just face it, Cincinnati is not a good defense. And so I just like those two together. Dalton Kincaid, I think he's still questionable. So even still, but yeah, as we get down further, I mean, I don't mind Lamar Jackson this week. I don't mind him. He's just been okay this year. That's about all I'm going to say I just don't mind him. He's a play, basically. But one guy that I really want to get to, and I know he's slightly below the 6K range, is Baker Mayfield this week. I'll have him a good bit. I like the spot here. And I'll touch on the other side of the ball too as we get there later. But I think this game could actually shoot out. I think this line is off. I don't think this is a -8.5 spread on this game. I think it's off, but I could be wrong there. But I don't know. Nothing's been great in Tampa for a while. I mean, their defense has been suspect for a while now, and so I'm not liking the fact that it's an 8.5 spread. It's just not. I don't think it's there. I think this game could shoot out.
I mean, the total is terrible, but I'll give it that at least the the Bucks total is really good. Like a 25-point total is about as good as it gets on the slate. Outside of any team that's not the Bills, that's about as good as it gets. So on that side of the game, it is kind of interesting. All right, those two, I'll accept it. BobbyWow, how about you in the stud zone? And we'll open that whole group up, right? Like it's Allen, Matthew Stafford, okay, maybe Matty Stafford, Matty Stizzles, Joe Burrow, other side of that Josh Allen game. Could it be Joe Burrow that does it?
Yeah, look, I think all of us would agree Josh Allen is just he's a fine play. There's no way around it here. Great matchup, running quarterback. Kind of saw it last week. I forget which Steeler hit him, but a Steeler hit him, and he said it woke him up. And that's the Josh Allen that I want coming into the juiciest matchup on the slate. So we would all agree he's a solid play. For me, I think the two other guys that stand out are Lamar Jackson, who's been really bad, but back at home against the Steelers passing defense that's been really bad, especially away from Pittsburgh, at relatively low ownership. So you got to like the upside potential there. And then, of course, the other side of the Bills game, Joey Burrow, who looked great last week. I thought he looked fine. No rust at all. I think this is should be a relatively solid matchup. The Bills defense can be good at times, but nothing that like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase can't overcome per se. So I really like both sides of the Bills-Bengals game. And then, again, as long as Lamar stays at 5% or lower, I'll definitely have some interest there as kind of like a tournament upside option.
Yeah. I like it. I'm kind of on the same boat. I think that for me, Josh Allen is probably more of I'm not going to force a stack with him guy. We just saw Josh Allen literally put up 40 fantasy points in a game and did not carry a single pass catcher with him to that score. Burns, your concept of cook with him, I'm more of the mind that I'm okay if it happens, but it's not something I want to really force the issue on. If the game doesn't go crazy, then it's much more likely to me that just one of it's a James Cook gets 36 and Josh Allen scores 20 kind of game where that 20 from Allen would not be enough. Although I do believe that the combination of those two is borderline lock button to deliver a monster score, but that's more of a cash game mindset, I would say, or like a 10-man, 20-man league kind of mindset where it's like, hey, I'm going to lock in a block here that is probably going to get 5 touchdowns one way or another.
Yeah, for sure.
I could see that in that style for sure. The name I wanted to mention. So I'm skeptical of Lamar at this point. He doesn't run anymore. And I'm skeptical of his ability to produce like a 30+ point performance. Not to say he can't do it, but I'm just more skeptical now. I don't think we need to be piling on, but I will say the ownership reduction makes me happy on him now. It's like, all right, we're getting him for a fair enough ownership price.
Yep.
But the name that's popping for it, and of course, Joe Burrow too. Joe Cool, fine, right? Let's see what the weather is going to be like in Buffalo. But based on the 53.5 point game total, the weather's going to be just fine. By the way, reminder, guys, for those of you who are watching, you never need to ask about weather. You just need to look at the total. If it has not been steadily going down, the weather is probably not of a level that will affect scoring in the game, and that's all that you care about anyway. That's all I care about. When you start to see that total come down, you better get nervous. Bettors are putting money on this weather now. That's serious. But Jaden Daniels, guys, Jaden's coming back.
Absolutely.
He's got a great prop here. So Jaden at 19.5 pretty much props out as good as he's right there with Matthew Stafford. He is like the third highest projection on the slate. I think the salary is lower than it normally would be because he hasn't been playing.
Yep. I had forgot he's coming back, but he's definitely up there for me as well. And interestingly enough, priced up high on FanDuel still.
Yeah. It's a misprice on DraftKings. And also, I like that it's in a dome. I like that it's weather-controlled, temperature-controlled environment. And I think that benefits quarterbacks. The downside of Jaden Daniels is coming off of injury. Is he going to be an aggressive runner? Probably not. Although I will say my boy Dart, for as much as he disappointed us on Thursday.
Got laid out.
That dude is aggressive, man, and he's out there playing for your money, and I love it.
It's Jackson Dart. You chose Jackson Dart.
I love that. I'll always choose Jackson Dart.
Aggressive or stupid at this point. I'm not really sure which.
He got laid the F out, man.
I don't care. I love that man putting all of his heart and soul into it for my money. That's all I can ask. Even if it didn't work out, can I be upset at a guy who gives it his all the way that Dart does? No, cannot be upset. All right, gentlemen, let's go to the second group. So of the top group, we mentioned Josh Allen. No one said Stafford. Interesting. Lamar Jackson, Little Burrow, Daniels, maybe a little Baker Mayfield in there for the Burns special. All fairly low owned. All right, let's go to level 2 of the quarterback position here. And this is, I think, where a lot of the money is probably going to be made this week. You got some weird chalk in here. Jolo, Brissett. I'm down with the brisket at home.
Yep.
My screen just moved on me. That was really weird. I would say, Sam Darnold is getting some looks. Trevor Lawrence at home against the Colts is chalky. Oh, interesting. Tua is always a no. Aaron Rodgers is always a no. Of course, Tyrod. Yes, please. Right back to it. And then I'm hearing in the chat some mention of, you got terrible JJ McCarthy chalk here. Gross, makes me want to throw up. And then Tyler Shook, some chat members were mentioning Tyler Shook as well. So with that being said, BobbyWow, I'll jump over to you this time. In the second tier of quarterbacks for this week, who are the ones that are standing out the most for you?
Yeah, I think, I'm going to go right back to Jacoby Brissett to start us off here. The guy does nothing but score 20 plus fantasy points every week, doesn't get priced up, and slings the football like crazy. Attempted another 40 passes last week. It doesn't matter who's healthy. It doesn't matter who's in, who's out. It doesn't matter the opponent. Jacoby Brissett is going to be throwing the football. And the Cardinals have been unapologetic about it ever since he took over the starting job, 6 games ago at this point. So gotta love that Jacoby's slinging it. The matchup isn't awesome, but to me, it's not the worst matchup in the world either, especially at his price, $5,700. He's really cheap on FanDuel too. So no issue going back to Jacoby Brissett, who we know is going to continue to throw the football.
Sling it.
And we know who he's throwing it to now with some of the injury news.
Yeah.
So I like Jacoby quite a bit.
Marvin Harrison Jr. out this week. Greg Dortch might be out this week as well. So we'll get, Trey McBride, 15 targets, Michael Wilson, 15 targets, and then we'll try to figure out who the hell else they have on their team.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody else.
Yeah. All right, Brissett, BobbyWow, who else?
And then Tyrod would be probably the other guy that stands out the most here. Again, a guy still priced below 5K. Got to love the price point on him. Excellent matchup. He's at home, and he can run the football a little bit. So it's not like we have to feel forced to stack him up with a bunch of guys. I think we stack him up with one of Adonai or Taylor, or even Brees, and then move on. Love the price point and matchup for Tyrod. I think he's firmly in play once again.
Don't even forget about Mechie, also an acceptable stack with Tyrod. BobbyWow, me and you are on the same bandwidth right now. It's like, what would BobbyWow do? Exactly what I'm doing, because I love those too. Burns, how about you?
Yeah, still debating on J-Lo. He's not good at home this year. He's not been good at. We loved him last week. Last week he was on the road in Detroit. He absolutely crushed, and that's where he's most efficient, is on the road. I actually wish this was in Chicago versus in Green Bay, because I would be all over him.
Jolo's had 2 good games this year.
Yeah, I would be all over him on the road, because those are where he's doing all of his damage. And that would have been great, because he would have been super, super low owned. You maybe even around 2% ownership on him. And it would have been a great one. So I'm still debating on him. But it is a game that they have to win, because this is Chicago and them are basically pushing for number one in the division, and so they got to win. But that aside,
wait a minute. Odunze is out this week?
Yeah. Odunze is out.
That's official?
Yeah.
It's official.
Ooh. Interesting.
I think it came out on Schefter's feed about 2, maybe 3 hours ago.
I'm going to tell you right now, Peter Porker. Hell yeah, I'm playing some Lance Burden.
It's Luther, by the way, guys. Luther.
I know. They're all punking me because I said Lance Burden. I like to call him Luke Burden, by the way, not because I don't know his name, but
you call him Luke, yeah.
Luther shortens into Luke, but I then in my brain turned Luke because it's into Lance because it's like a small L word, and I was probably high. So
there you go.
Keeping it real. Anyway, Burns, keep going.
Yeah, so J-Lo, I mean, I'm still looking at him, and I want to look more into him, how he looks across the years, his past years in this month. So I'll be looking at that. Jacoby Brissett, yeah, I mean, I've been running this guy in high dollar single entries. I've been running this guy in cash contests. I've been running this guy in Millie Makers. So this guy is like, he's been winning me a shit ton of money. So this is where, I mean, he won me a ticket to the $10 million qualifier. So
nice.
Me and Sox Fever, who's in the chat.
Can we all agree that I was the first on the brisket, though?
Maybe. I don't remember.
You don't want to give me that one.
I don't remember. But it's a tough matchup, man. It is tough. The Rams are tough. But we saw what happened to them on the road. But this is a divisional game. It's a little different for them. They're not traveling across the country. They're just going down to Arizona. So, be careful with this one this week. Tyrod. Tyrod's in a great spot. I don't mind it at all. He's home. He's an underdog. I don't really mind it. That's been working this year. But the other guy that I think could actually do some damage is this Tyler Shug kid. And this is why I said that this game could actually go to the over, and this line is off. Tampa Bay has not been that good of a defense this year. They're kind of an overrated defense. He actually had a decent performance last weekend against Miami, and I would consider like Tampa Bay kind of they're about that level of Miami. They're not great. Their metrics across the board are not good. So Tyler is a guy that I think could actually keep this game close. I don't think they win, but I think they can keep it close and into the fourth quarter. So, 5% of this guy in an MME run is not terrible. So,
yeah, I would keep it to that. Like, there is a lot of evidence that he sucks also.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he can fail, and it's a 98% fail rate on him. Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah. It's like he probably really sucks. But
Tyrod for me has got a 90% fail rate right now. So
Tyrod Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
Tyrod Taylor.
I put failure rates on every player, and he's about 90% this week for me.
Oh, you think 90% of the time he fails?
He's got to get a little bit more than 20 this week.
Yeah. For the super chat, balls on the table quarterback.
Jeez.
Tyrod Taylor.
Going back to
it. I'll take my 10% chances. I'd go right back to it. Yeah. So right now, based on how I'm going to approach the slate, 90% fail or not, it's difficult for Tyrod to fail. I don't know what the fail measure is, because if the fail measure is 3x his current salary level, then I'm looking for like a 14 out of Tyrod. So that's where maybe I'm not. Does that mean he's going to win me the tournament this week? No. But if I'm looking, so I look at them 2.5 to 3x salary, that would be a success. And when I'm dealing with a 5K player, I'm thinking, can I get a 13? Can I get a 14? Right? So I I would say probably 90%. I'll give him a 10% shot of crossing 20. But I think this is a fair way to get a 3x on a player. The nice thing about Tyrod for me, he's at home, he's facing Miami, team's not good, and he runs a little bit. So Tyrod, most games, is able to gallop for between 30 to 40 yards. That's, again, we're counting points. That's 3 to 4 points. Mm-hmm. Throw one touchdown, now we're at 8, right? Do anything else in the pass, and we're quickly at 12 to 14. 14, acceptable, not going to win us a tournament, but probably doesn't hurt you in a small field tournament, and certainly wouldn't hurt you in cash. And then, of course, there's a lot of upside from there. So I'm going right back to Tyrod this week. I would have been on Mariota as well had he played, but now I'm switching it to Jaden. And now I like Jaden quite a bit at the 6K level. Brissett right back to it, although I have a higher fear of Brissett this week than I have in the last few weeks because of this. I like that they're at home, but Rams have been pretty good. But of course, the Rams just got torched by Bryce Young, so maybe they're not that good. Bobby Bacala, who I believe they're referencing like the WR7, who is now going to be starting for the for Brissett and crew. Is that who Bacala is? And I have nothing else. I thought about, I consider Trevor Lawrence, but I hate the ownership, right? And it makes me not want to play him. I'll take Trevor at 2 or 3%. We're getting 8-9%, highest owned on the thing. This guy, I don't think he's ever scored 30 fantasy points in a game, ever. And I think every time he scored more than 25, every time he had to run for a touchdown to get there. He just does not produce big scores with his arms. I'll show it to you.
Well, he's one of the least efficient quarterbacks on the entire slate.
Yeah, terrible. Look at this. The one time he got 28, the whole year, he ran for 2 touchdowns by some strange miracle and 54 yards and still only got a 28. Like, I still think that's bad. He's not efficient at all.
He'll be higher than 8%.
Then I extra don't like it. None of us mentioned Samwise the Scared. Maybe that's something, Sam Darnold. Just like there it is. Family Man just busted it out as I was saying it, which is pretty shocking.
Atlanta's been much better as of late defensively and really solid against the pass. Darnold, as we've kind of alluded to the last couple shows, is showing some of that second half struggle that we've seen over the years. And it's kind of a trend that almost seems to be rooted in actual numbers at this point. Now, could he bounce back? Of course, but
yeah,
not the best spot for him to bounce back on the road against a Falcons team that's looked much better as of late against the pass.
Be careful with him, though. He's got one of the most interceptions of any quarterback on the slate.
Oh yeah,
on the road
a bunch too.
Yeah,
yep.
On the road, be careful with him.
I don't care too much about interceptions. What gets me going is if the team is going to score via the pass as opposed to via the run. And the other thing that gets me going is, can Atlanta put up numbers to cause Seattle to have to respond through the air? And if they have to respond through the air, there is nothing on Atlanta's team that should be able to slow down Jackson Smith-Njigba. They don't have anything on the team. They do have a top level cornerback, but I haven't seen AJ Terrell. What's the name of the guy there, Burns?
Yeah, AJ Terrell.
Fucking good memory. But is he shutting down Jackson Smith-Njigba?
That's part of the problem, though, is, we've seen JSN have some big games, but he doesn't necessarily carry Darnold with him.
Right.
Like some of the big games JSN have been Darnold's worst fantasy producing games of the season. So not a direct correlation there, as you would expect.
Darnold needs a second guy. The game where Darnold smashed, look it up. I believe it was like AJ Barner who put up a monster. He needs the second guy to carry him through. This was kind of like how it was with Dak for years, where Lamb wasn't enough. It needed another guy. He needed like an AJ Barner to come through, or some other secondary piece. So I think if I'm making 150 and you're like, Kev, you must pick another quarterback, And I have my guys already. I'm telling you, my list right now, I got Allen, Burrow, Jaden, Brissett, and especially Tyrod Taylor down there. I don't like the. Maybe I'll play some Shook as well. Why not? But I don't know. I don't like the ownership either. I see a weird ownership spike that makes me not want to play him. But
yeah, if he gets to a certain level, I'm not playing him.
If Shook, to me, if he passes 6% owned, I'm not interested in that anymore.
If he passes 4%, I'm not playing.
Yeah, like these are guys that you want at 2 or 3% ownership. That's how you leverage the field. That's how we crushed it last week. By the way, there's a reason why all those screenshots had DFS Army people winning everything. I didn't even show you everything. Every pocket mini was won. The whole industry saw Army helmets everywhere. And it's because we played 2% owned Tyrod Taylor stacked with Adonai Mitchell. And no one else did. Now everybody's like, that's the chalk, Geek. No, it wasn't. Just like 2 weeks ago when we played Brissett and no one else did and everybody smashed. That was not the chalk. No one played it. And that's why all those lineups absolutely crushed. In the Players Club last week, we built our first 3 lineups with Tyrod Taylor. I was like, guys, I don't want to go off of this. I just want to make all these, but I'll give you a couple. I'll give you one with these other guys. Only the Tyrod one smashed. So we got to get on. I'll say the same about JJ McCarthy. Somebody said John James. Johannes James McCarthy. That I'm not playing him at 10% own. That dude sucks. If he burns me, he burns.
Yeah.
I'm out on that. So yeah, that's about it. Anybody else, even like silly for the milli stupid plays that you guys have here at quarterback, Bobby Dubs?
Nope, we covered everyone on playing a quarterback. Silly for the milli, reserved for elsewhere.
Yeah. Same for you, Burns?
Yeah, don't get weird on this. There's some guys on here that man, don't play them.
All right, I want to take I'm going to load up the RB chalk. There is a weird one in here. There are 2 weird ones, maybe 3 weird ones, high owned in here that are bothering me terribly. But I want to hear Burns from you because you said there's some RB chalk that is upsetting you.
The one that's 4 down from the top,
Janty against the Broncos.
Like, what in the hell is the industry thinking on this play?
Dude, if they let me play the Hell No song by Bishop, by the Bishop, I need something like that. They don't let me play it. Man, hell no. Wait, fuck with your shit? Wait. Ready? Let me try this one.
Hell no, fuck with your shit.
Hell no.
This is a bad spot. Like when I started just running the domination station, see who I could get like on a Wednesday, and he was popping in there. I'm like, what in the actual F is going on here?
That's because you didn't have the props. Notice the difference between, this is really important on the Dom station. So you want a little secret of how to look at this. If you want to know what the field is doing, you can look at this first number a little more. This will be a little bit more of what the DFS field is doing, right? This number here, the props, are what the correct thing is to do. And so I love this dichotomy here because, all right, Breece Hall for 60. All right. I don't love it. But like you can see, oh, wait a second. Field is putting a 17.2 here, but the true projection is a 15.2. That is massively lower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Janty bad chalk, guys. I love that.
Yeah, I also think KW3 is a bad chalk week too.
Who's playing KW anymore, guys? Stop it.
It's bad chalk.
Stop it. What are you doing? You know, when you're watching the game, I was calling this out in the Army Discord last week because KW3 was chalk, right? And I was like, all right, 10-yard line, Charbonnet's in the game. Every fucking time.
I was in single entries, and 65% of the top players in DFS Stratosphere had KW3.
Yeah,
and I had Vidal, and I'm just going by all of them.
Yeah, well, that Vidal play last week, us being massively on Vidal. Vidal was one of my 3 primary running backs last week. And my cash, my every lineup guys. I can't remember last week. What the fuck? It was Vidal. It was a pay up. I think Achan.
Yeah,
I don't remember last week.
Yeah, Achan, Bijan, and Vidal.
Bijan, and I had some Hall too, but it was the Achan. It was Vidal Bijan combos that crushed. Achan I don't really. Ashton Genty I don't get. Kenny Walker I don't get, but a lot of these other spots I think are pretty good, and I think some might be a little underowned. So let's get into the running backs for NFL Week 14. Burns, we'll kind of go right back to you here. Studs, duds, as usual. Stud zone: Bucky, Henry, Cook, Bijan, HN, and Jonathan Taylor. Right, 7K and up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have a pretty tight player pool on running back this week. It's going to be really right around these top 4 guys, and then it'll filter into Bucky Irvin, Josh Jacobs. We'll have ownership in him. I'm not on. I don't think I'm on the Breece Hall bandwagon here.
You're going too far down.
I'm not.
Stud zone.
Well, I thought we were going 6,500 and up.
And up. Oh, yeah. So no, I started at Jacobs. I was kind of wanting to do
Jacobs. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So Jacobs and Bucky, in the lower salaried part of this grouping, they got good matchups. So I'll have them. And when you play in MME, like we know, you got to have coverage. And even if it is like, a chalkier play, you still have to have the coverage. And so Josh Jacobs for me is a coverage play. I like the fact that he's home. He's a home favored running back, but the metrics are there. The Vegas metrics, the defensive metrics are there. My only issue is how much run is he going to get? So that's my issue with him. But my primary guy in this whole grouping is James Cook. I am building single entries. I'm building cash with this guy. This guy is my dude right here. And so I just love the matchup for him. And my stack with him is just Josh Allen. I mean, it's just easy. It's an easy, if you go Josh Allen, you go with him. And that's it. It's easy. So, but yeah, I mean, Devon Achane's in an interesting spot here on the road. And I like Jonathan Taylor too. So
stud zone looks good here across the board. BobbyWow. Burns extra loves James Cook. James Cook is also sporting the elusive but very predictive 100 perfect score DFS Army rating. That's a proprietary rating system driven by the ultimate AI system, my brain. I invented it. All right. So, BobbyWow, how about you? Burns loves James Cook. I get it.
I like about Cook. I'm not as behind the Cook Allen combo. Just Cook has, I think, 1 receiving touchdown on the season. Not to say it can't happen, but I feel like Josh Allen needs all those tutties if he's going to win us a tournament this week. So, but James Cook, there's so much to like about him, no doubt about it. Jonathan Taylor, I'm nervous about. I think there's a misconception about the Jaguars defense, and it's, the misconception is that the Jags are horrible, but they've actually been one of the best run defenses in the league this season. They've shut down some pretty good running backs. So to me, JT really needs to get involved in the passing game if we're going to see him smash here. That is certainly a possibility, but let's not overlook the Jags, who have actually been every bit of that DVP number we're seeing on the screen there. I think HN, great spot. We saw him heavily involved last week, even softer matchup this week. He's catching all the passes. He's getting the rushing work. He is a phenomenal floor play, I think. Really tough to get around him and James Cook as you're starting to. I really like both those guys, but Bijan's the other guy that I've got some tournament interest in. He's sub 10% ownership. I have reason to believe that'll hold right there. And he's a guy that we've seen kind of bust out of these tougher matchups on paper, and he did it last week. So I really like Bijan. I think if Atlanta has any chance whatsoever, they need him to be a critical part of their passing game. And that's really where you beat the Seahawks as a running back, is as a passing back. So to me, Bijan, they get him involved, another 7-8 targets again on Sunday. I think he's got a big week for himself at really low ownership.
Yeah, I have to. It's hard to when I look at this stud group. I like them all. I don't have like a glaring I don't like that play guy, which is unusual. This is extremely unusual for me. I usually hate them all, and it feels really different. I can make an argument for every single one of these players, even down to Bucky Irving. Bucky got all of the running back work last week. It wasn't like he came back and they eased him in and Sean Tucker played. They just gave it all to Bucky. So if that happens again, 7K will seem like a bargain. He doesn't project as well as these other guys, but I think it's fine. With Josh Jacobs, the only thing that holds him back or propels him forward is just how much volume the team wants to throw at him. Burns, you said it in other words, but it's exactly true. There's nothing. The only thing holding him back in this matchup at home as a heavy favorite is how many touches will he get? Mm-hmm. If Jolo is getting it done and actually producing as a quarterback, that will come at the expense of Josh Jacobs, most likely. Although every once in a while they do throw to him, but I think that would come at the expense of Josh Jacobs. So I definitely wouldn't want to mix those two at all.
Jacobs is cheap.
Who is?
The thing about Jacobs is he's cheap. That's the only reason it gives me pause on DraftKings. He's been up toward 8K, I feel like, this season. And before he got hurt, was really heavily involved in the passing game for the first time in his career. Now, the Bears defense is much, much healthier. That includes in the secondary, they got Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson back, and they're coming off a game where they really stymied Philly's run game. Philly they couldn't do anything against the Bears defense that continues to get healthier. So I do have some Josh Jacobs concerns, not to mention last week, he came out of the game a couple of times limping. You could tell he's clearly not healthy yet. So definitely some concerns, but he is really cheap. That's the scary part for me.
You know what I hate about this play? I don't want the highest owned guy. When I just said that I absolutely adore James Cook, who is very high owned as well, but I also love Achane. Great. Super fine to play Jonathan Taylor, although I get the concerns. I think Jonathan Taylor is better than the defense he's facing, but still,
for sure.
I understand the concerns. Achane, though, would be more of a standout for me. I already know the Jets. I can see Achane running for catching a 60-yard touchdown pass amongst other things in that game. Bijan can pop whenever. So and again, I really like Bucky too. So give me Bucky. If everybody's going to play Josh Jacobs, and I'm going to get, I don't know, Bucky, or even Derrick Henry's in a good spot, I would be looking to fade ownership on Jacobs if that holds. Not to say Jacobs actually is in my first look lineup. Jacobs in a good spot, but
see, you're already hedging now.
No.
This is hedging, right? You can't do that.
We didn't have ownership
because he's cheap. That's the problem. He's just too cheap.
We don't have ownerships on Tuesday, BobbyWow.
I agree. I like Bucky. I like Bucky as a sneaky play. There's something clearly like Baker's injury is bad. I think it's worse than he's leading on. And you saw it last week. Bucky's a very solid play.
Yeah. Marchese is multiple times pointing out Jordan Love, and he has been correct about things in the past. So let's put that on screen. And if Jolo crushes, we will all say John called that one on Tournament Tactics.
Sure hope he's wrong.
I don't mind playing a little Jolo either. I think it's a perfectly acceptable GPP only. I already love Christian Watson. I already have some.
Which is kind of crazy that you love him, but we'll get to that.
I do. I very much like Christian Watson. So maybe Jolo should be in the line. All right. Okay. Dontavian Wicks, not bad. All right. Maybe I might be into it.
Yeah, I've written him up. I think he's going to be fine. It's a divisional game. So I think they have to win.
Yeah.
They have to.
Absolutely have to win.
Bring it back with Lance Burton.
God, I can't do it anymore.
Bring it back with Lance. All right. Secondary group here, guys. 6,700. We've got Chase Brown, Kyron Williams. Don't like either. Breece Hall and Judkins, more interesting to me. That pair Got Travis Etienne, not a guy I normally play in DFS. Janty Chalk, unplayable Jalen Warren, unplayable Swift, unplayable Mason, and then we get RJ Harvey starting in a smash spot, followed by unplayable other people. Is there
not a ton of value here?
Is there any argument we can be making? I think there are some super cheap turds, but let's stick to the secondary group, that 5,500 to 6,800 group here, because I think we can. There's a turd or two I can pick out here, I think, in this lower price range category that I don't mind. So let's start with that next group. Burns, I'll go to you this time first. Kenny Walker all the way up through Chase Brown. One or two names that are popping on your list.
Yeah, for me in the 6K range, it's definitely Quishon Judkins. He is just this is setting up for a great game for him. I love the mini stack with him with the Browns defense. It's just a very simplistic way of going about this game because Cam Ward is sacked at the highest rate of any quarterback on the entire slate at 10.4% of the time. His interception rate is middling. So that part of the defense, the defense is just they put some significant pressure on the last 3-4 games on quarterbacks. They've gotten so many sacks the last 4 weeks. It's crazy. But that pressure is going to force Cam Ward to, he's going to have deer in headlights look like, man, I don't know what the hell to do. When you got Myles Garrett pounding down your throat, you got Mason Graham. I mean, these guys are incredible.
Brutal. So at home, by the way, Browns pair them up. Browns defense.
But Judkins he's a strong play. He's a strong play in that he actually, now with Dylan Sampson out, he is even a stronger play. Ford will get some run, but I'm not worried about him. So I like Quishon Judkins in this range the best, to be honest with you. I think he presents a lot of great value. And then slightly below him, I guess RJ Harvey, because the Vegas Raiders they're just meh as a defense against the run. So I guess him, but really, I mean, it's this range here. There's not much greatness here by any stretch.
It gets gross. BobbyWow, it gets gross around here. What are we doing?
It gets gross. I think you got to go back to Breece Hall a little bit. Yeah, I'm not saying you got to go overweight on him, but Burns talked about, I can't remember what phrase you used, Burns, but kind of like almost meeting the field where they're at on some of these guys. He's another one of those guys where he's still too cheap given the matchup, really cakewalk. I'm a little concerned they're not tyhrowing him the football. Tyrod's not really throwing it to him much, but still, the matchup is good. Going right back to him, and Quishon, I think, is the other true standout in this range. Fully agree on all fronts there. Genty, to give you some reasons here, and I'm not going to him, but he's extremely cheap and has 3 straight weeks with 8 targets. They have no choice but to throw him the football at this point. That gives him a viable floor, I think, in this matchup. I'm not touching him. I don't think he's a tournament worthy running back. I don't think he has tournament winning upside still, but I do think the floor is there at 6K when there really aren't that many backs. Like Burnsy said, it's kind of a gross zone. So I can understand the chalk, but I'm not comfortable eating the chalk, I guess, is where I'm going with that. RJ Harvey, I'd much rather pay down to him if I'm going to go, somewhere below this range. He's not getting the full complement of snaps per se, but he is still the guy that's leading the backfield. He's getting the bulk of the touches by far. And, he's getting some receiving work as well. So I think Harvey at 5,700, he to me is kind of like the lowest viable guy that I'll be punting with, but I think Quishon and Breece are the two guys where I'm going the most.
Yeah, I want to like RJ Harvey. I want to. I'm doing everything in my power to force myself to want to like this guy, but they just don't give him any volume. And even with the other guy out, even with J.K. Dobbins out, he's still not getting volume. Why? Why won't you run this guy 20 times? He's getting a couple targets. He's getting in the game. But, he kind of luck boxed into the 21 last week. Like, he only ran for 35 yards. It was pretty gross. There were no yardage there. If he doesn't get 2 touchdowns, I mean, in a real game, had he gotten 2 touchdowns, you would have think this guy would score 40. But he really only squeezed out a 20 last week because they don't do anything else with him. He's just not that heavily involved in the offense. So
what does that tell you, though? What does that tell you? It tells you, yeah, you could say luck box in, I suppose. You go that route. But it also tells you he's getting the ball at the goal line. And we know the Broncos are going to be able to drive on this Raiders team. So, again, I'm not pumped to play him. I'm not getting 50% of them, but a decent value option below 6K.
Yeah. Acceptable. I have a couple of, so I just want to reiterate what you guys just said. For the most part, I like Judkins here in this group the most out of any of them. I'm not super high on just about anyone else. Kyron, nope. Chase Brown, only for the fact that the Bills seem to allow these big plays from running backs every once in a while. But
and he's still getting targets. Still 7 targets last week for Chase.
He'll get some targets, but I will caution that he comes out of the game when Pirine is in there. It's just not enough volume for me. And especially when they're behind, it's going to be Pirine in the game. I don't like it. Right. So I don't like it.
He's too expensive for that type of role.
Yes.
Yep.
Just not priced correctly for 60%.
If he was $1,000 cheaper, it would be one thing.
Yes. And Breece Hall is going to always be hit or miss. The Jets offense is never going to really be projected to score more than 15 or 16 points in a game. So, it's hard. I would say the same for Judkins. Like, the difference is, even though Cleveland's only projected to score like 18 points in this game, man, it's a high likelihood that he's getting all of those points. So, like, are they really going to be throwing the heck's his name? Shador. They're going to be throwing with Shador around the goal line? No, right? They're just going to hand it to Judkins. I don't ever play Travis Etienne, so I'm not going to switch that now. And none of this is good. So I'll play a little bit of RJ Harvey, but there's a couple of names, guys, below this level that I think are mildly acceptable, and I just want to share those names and get your reaction to them. All right? It's sketchy. It's very sketchy. You won't like them. But one of them I think is okay. So I think one of them is Devin Neal. I think it's okay to go back to Devin Neal. He got a lot of work last week. It didn't hit, but he is the RB1 for this team.
Yeah, tough matchup too. That was an easier matchup than the Bucs, who've really only done anything against the run this season. But yeah,
they're allowing a lot of points to running backs, though. It's a lot of via the pass, but they're not a shutdown versus the run as they once were. And I have a second name, and it's even grosser.
I think I know where you're going.
C-Rod.
Yeah.
Chris Rodriguez. I don't love it, but I do think it's noteworthy that he is effectively the RB1 at this point. He's taken over for Bill.
Whatever happened to him? I mean,
no, Bill's still there. He just wasn't effective.
I know. He just that's stinks. What I mean. Like, what happened to him? Where I don't know. The shiny new toy didn't really look so shiny. He wasn't
effective. They gave him a lot of opportunity. Look at it. Look at his game logs. They gave him tons of opportunity. 2.5 yards per carry, 2.8 yards per carry, 2.7, 3.2. I mean, it's just not good enough.
Yeah, he's got a lot of varnish on him.
Can't catch a pass. Can't pass protect.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Call it the DFS hipsters? They're all head in their hands right now over
the
Bill.
The hipsters were high-fiving themselves when he got the start. Now the hipsters, the hipsters are crying. The fantasy hipsters, they're not happy anymore. Hipster high five. That's what Kozlowski calls it. A hipster high five. When you take Ja'Cory Crocky Merritt in round 7 in your fantasy league this year, like, hey, why? I listen to fantasy analysts. Good job, buddy. Good job. You don't listen to me. You don't listen to Ray Zanny, the best ball master. He's out there. All right.
One other name. No, I'm not going to go there.
You got one? Give me a turd.
No,
Give me a turd.
No, I can't.
I can't. Drop a turd on it.
I'm going to wait for wide receiver.
All right. All right, guys. Let's move on to the wide receiver position. But a reminder, if you're enjoying this content, if you like the video, number one, we always want to hear your takes. I love to hear who you're hitting. What stacks are you doing in the Millie Maker this week? QB, wide receiver. Give me those in the comments section ahead of tomorrow's early 10 a.m. start Players Club. I need all those ideas percolating as we gummy it up tonight and really think about what we're going to do tomorrow in lineup building. Oh, this one's an acceptable little sneaker. Is this who you were thinking of? Blake Corum?
No, I'll just give you my name. It's Michael Carter. Michael Carter for Arizona.
Yeah, I don't like it.
6 targets last week. Benson's out. DeMarcado's also out. They have nobody else. I think he's intriguing. If we're gonna talk, if we're gonna give out a name, like
they got Bam Knight though.
Yeah, but Bam Knight could get hurt at any time.
Yeah.
Like, would it shock me if Bam Knight gets knocked out of the game and Michael Carter goes bananas?
Well, no. And it's just the Carter. He's only in play because of the PPR. He catches pass. I think he had 6 targets last week. So
I wish it was a better match. I get more excited if it was a better matchup. I'll give you one. If you need to make a stupid running back play, how about Aaron Jones? Why not? Healthy.
All right, we're just getting crazy here now. This is just.
It's not like Washington's a killer defense. I say why not?
I think he can,
but he's losing the job to Mason again.
Is he? I mean, Mason stinks too.
I think what you're finding out though, as you get further and further down in salary on these guys, about where RJ Harvey is and below, you're starting to see where, hey, my player pool needs to be tight, and it doesn't need to be widespread on running back this week. You can keep it pretty tight.
Yeah, I think this week, we all love these top guys. It's going to be hard to afford 3 of them in your lineup, but I mean, if you play James Cook and Achane or James Cook and Irving, or some combination of this, and just those are 2 spots in your lineup, especially when you see what's going on at wide receiver, there aren't as many reasons to pay extreme. There are ways to build. There are ways to build with 2 really good running back, or Judkins, by the way. How about the most basic approach of all? James Cook, Quinshon Judkins. I'm moving on.
Yeah, I mean it works.
Yeah, and this to me makes the best case for RJ Harvey and why he's so viable. Because at 5,700, you're not getting better value for 15, 16, 17 touches on the slate.
Yeah. RJ Harvey was in my first look lineup this week, Bobby Wow, in the video. So I did fall on that trap somewhat as well.
I know we all will.
I feel like it is a trap though, because that fucker doesn't get more than 13 carries.
Sean Payton's gonna hose us, but you know what? That's okay.
Sean Payton's a hoser. It's a fucking hoser. Oh no! Oh, what did I do?
Lord have mercy.
He's a hoser. I need my Canadian friends to tell me what a hoser is. I don't even know. Heard the word before. All right, let's go to the wide receiver position, NFL Week 12. And as always, gentlemen, I will sort by P-own percentage. Yeah. See who the chalk is, right? Somebody was just saying, who's my guy? Gabriel Prophet was just saying, everybody trying to figure out which expensive Ram skill player. It looks like they figured it out, man. It looks like they're going with Puka, who hasn't scored more than 23 fantasy points really since the emergence of Devontae Adams as a red zone weapon. Bearing in mind that Puka at 8,700 will have to score 36, maybe 35 fantasy points to have had to have it score. Burns, can he do it?
I don't know. He's this upper echelon. Once you get around 8,500 and above, I mean, these guys aren't. I would say the last 2, maybe 3 weeks, these guys just haven't been getting it done.
No.
To the point where you're like, oh man, I got to have this guy right in my lineups. It's not there anymore.
I mean, that's just variance though. That'll stop, and all of a sudden 1 week they'll all put up a 40.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
my issue with Puka is
that's regression to the mean.
Yeah, I just think Jamar Chase is just a much better play. That's my issue with Puka. I absolutely prefer Jamar Chase to Puka. I literally just found out who these Bob and Doug randomly Dawson Rains. I ran into one of their YouTube videos. I don't even know how the fuck it popped up, but last night I'd never heard of it. It's Rick Moranis from like the 80s, acting like a like a Canadian. I actually know that reference. That's crazy. All right, back to it. Sorry, I get distracted. Burns, Jamar Chase is better than all these guys.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, he's a great receiver. Puka, yeah, you laid it out pretty well. I mean, he's got issues because of the fact that Devontae Adams is on that team.
It's also not a sexy team. Yeah.
Devontae's the guy in the red zone for this team.
The problem with Devontae is he's actually really good.
Yeah.
It's not
he's been good for a long time.
Yeah. It's not some bullshit.
He's just been on bad teams.
Devontae breaks the mold. You know, I was having a thought about this. Why do some players just start sucking when they turn 28, 29, 30, and other players continue to be great well into the 30s? You want to know what I concluded?
Please.
BobbyWow, got a thought on it?
I would love to know.
Burns,
I want to know.
I think I have a theory on it.
You've cracked the code. What is it?
That they don't give a fuck anymore. They made all their money, and it's just hard to really care for so many years. And a certain type of person just stops giving a shit. And by stop giving a shit, I don't mean they're not training, but
George Pickens is only 24, right?
What's that?
I said, George Pickens is only 24, right? It was just a joke.
Well, yeah, he didn't give a shit. Just like it only takes him 2 games. But no, I'm thinking of like Amari Cooper. I'm thinking of like those kind of names. I'm thinking what happened to Des Bryant when he turned 29 and just was terrible. Like, I don't understand. I don't think it's the athleticism that drops off. I just think they get paid, and then it's like you get a little fat when you get paid, and you don't care as much. And that makes you not that great.
I also think in Devontae's case, it was, he was on poor teams, the Vegas Raiders and
last couple of years,
the Jets. I mean, he had nobody to throw him the football that could get it to him consistently. He's a really good receiver. He's always been a really good receiver, dating back all the way to his days with the Packers. I mean, we were playing this guy every week when he was with the Packers.
Yeah, no, he's a great player.
He's with a good. Now he has a quarterback that's good. I mean, like, get him the football. So you know what I mean.
But he cares still. That's what I'm saying. He's still in peak condition. He still cares. All right. So continuing on though, ownership. We got Ibuka. I think that's fine. JSN is up there. Justin Jefferson's kind of interesting, getting a little ownership. My boy Christian Watson and Adonai Mitchell, both core plays for me this week. You got Terry. Scary Terry looked good coming back, and now he's really inexpensive. I'm kind of into that. Now that I know that Jaden is back, I'm kind of into Terry McLaurin a little bit. Bad chalk Waddle in there, just getting him in there again. He's like, pick me. Waddle's always bad chalk. So Pat Bryant.
It's not even that chalky. 10%. We can't call 10% chalk. Come on.
What's Pat Bryant doing on the list?
He's below 10%. He's not even chalky anymore.
What did I miss? Is somebody hurt for the Broncos? What the fuck is going on?
He's the WR3 for the Broncos. That's what it is.
All right. And we have some super cheap pieces this week as well. So let's get into it, boys. And let's keep things moving along. Pour out some Blue Moon for Josati, who is at his company Christmas party, drinking eggnogs. He's probably wearing an ugly sweater. You know what I mean? Like, what do you wear to the company Christmas party? Wear one of those sweaters.
He's living that movie. Like what is that? There's a movie about office Christmas parties. I think.
Yeah.
It was
lot.
I don't even know if it was good.
2 or 3 of the ladies from the office are like a little tipsy, and making moves on. And Josiah's just like, I don't know what to do, and they're just attacking him. That's a lock button. I know it. I just know I'm always right about these things. All right, studs and duds, gentlemen. Burns, you first. We've got to play a stud. Hang on. Got to play a stud here. 6,500 and up. I'll include Olave in the mix just in case you want to eat that chalk.
6,500 and up.
6,500 up, you get 2. I don't think I have more than 2. I don't know if I even have. I don't think I only have 1.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty sketch. I mean even Emeka's prop is low. I was surprised. This is the first time I've seen like his props here. Man, this is tough because the top 3 guys, Yeah, Jamar Chase is probably the best out of the three. But something's twingy about Puka this week. I don't know. There's something weird.
Burns is feeling a twing about Puka, but
there's something interesting.
You only need to choose one of this group, and I think it's Chase. BobbyWow, is it Chase?
But he's also,
if Puka was going to be not 26% owned, I think he will be. I would love getting leverage on Puka, but I can't. So I'm just going to assume it's business as usual in LA. And if he beats me at 26%, tip the cap. Look, here's my secret to the slate. I don't think you have to pay up for wide receiver this week. We've seen this happen before. We've seen it a couple times over the last 4 or 5 weeks where the top pay up wide receivers are kind of a trap. They're the trap of the slate because we know at running back, we've got studs.
Yeah.
Really, for the most part, it's 6,500 up at running back. That makes sense. I don't think you have to necessarily pay up. So it's Chase for me, of course, if I am, but I don't think you got to fall into that trap necessarily.
Dude, I think you just nailed it. That is the correct approach. We've gone through the running backs. We all agree we really like these expensive ones. In order to afford them, we are going to have to pay down at wide receiver. You can squeeze Jamar Chase in a lineup. Don't get me wrong. But you ain't getting two of these guys. And for me, it's Chase or bust out of this group. I absolutely want as much as I can get in terms of access to the Cincinnati Buffalo 53.5 pointer. You don't get 53.5 pointers every day. You know what happened the last time we got a 53.5 pointer?
It's last night.
Yes. And what happened?
Smash.
Players went crazy. It was just yesterday. I love that you noticed that because I was like, it was yesterday. I was going to go nuts, but you nailed it. You nailed it, man. It was yesterday. You don't need
CeeDee Lamb smashed. You played half a game.
Yeah, half a game. CeeDee Lamb. If he plays the whole game, he absolutely crushes. I do think it's interesting. If there's one, I'm not going there.
He's got the Costco price. He's got the 99 cents on him. Look at that. The JJ, and it caught your eye, didn't it?
It did.
Oh, man.
When it crossed under 7K and put him at $69.99, I'm like, oh, Justin Jefferson in the sixes. That's great. But at the flip side is, man, he's got Zach Milson throwing to him. That is just not that good. I mean,
he was 15% owned in the Millie Maker last week.
He got a 2.
And what the hell are
These
people
guys can't
thinking?
help themselves. They can't.
What were people thinking playing that Brosmer guy?
They don't watch the show.
Did you see that? Did you see that first interception that he threw ran back for a touchdown? I said it out loud. I go, what the F is this guy doing? You take the sack, you kick the field goal. What a dumbass.
Yeah.
The only thing he did was allow Vikings fans to be excited that JJ McCarthy's coming back. So,
I mean, come on, Max Brosmer. And by the way, I heard that, Max Brosmer was good. I heard all this shit. And I was like, I played 30% Seattle defense in that game. Not because I have some genius. I always do that when a rookie's playing. I just load up on that defense. But, oh my gosh, got a 30 from them. And of course, the lineup I finished third place in the big FanDuel contest was one I had Miami defense in. I was like, fuck, damn it. If this was only Seattle, would have won the whole thing. I think you don't need that many of this group. Only one. GPP, sure. Yeah, take some shots. It's in Jigba because he could score 50. A couple little stabs here. In big GPP, even Justin Jefferson at home, I can give him a little GPP interest. Very
he's as
little.
Playable as he's been this season. That's the only good thing I'll say about him.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't believe Jefferson always says that about his quarterback. You guys don't listen to that.
We called it out on the show. Actually, we said, watch his body language in the second quarter. He was already hanging the helmet up on it. He was, my God. It was perfect.
Basically, Zach Wilson, BT 8927 is starting because JJ McCarthy is secretly just Zach Wilson in a different.
He might be worse. He might be worse.
And they and they play the same. And I guarantee you that JJ McCarthy is banging MILFs because it's too similar to Zach.
God.
You know who would hang out with JJ McCarthy and be buddies? Joe Zaddy.
Sure.
All right. I'm waiting for the reaction. It took a second. Got it. We'll move on. Guys, this is where the money's going to be made at wide receiver this week. We have to play the lower cost ones. So let's go 6,400 and below down to 5K. And then we'll have a special segment for the cheapies. But Burns, back to you. No one liked these expensive guys. We all love Jamar Chase. I'm going to throw him in this just to see how it looks. But lower cost wide receivers, where are you looking this week?
Yeah, now that we got some clarity around some of these, around that Arizona offense with MHJ being out, we got Dortch out. Man, it is almost Michael Wilson is a great play at $5,600. I mean, we are talking like when he was last in this Arizona offense without MHJ playing, this guy exploded, and rightfully so. I mean, he's the new de facto WR1 on this team. And, you know, it pains me to say that because I love MHJ. He's, you know, I watched him play a lot with Ohio State. But Michael Wilson is just crushing, man. This is great. Volume machine.
Crazy
I love
about
it.
Michael Wilson? You want to hear something nuts?
Yes.
Sure.
This week on Monday, on his day off, he went fishing. It's like a nice fishing trip.
Yeah.
With Marvin Harrison Sr.
There you go. Yeah, Marv, he was good.
You know who wasn't on the fishing trip?
I can't do this.
Marvin Harrison Jr. He's not my son.
Yeah. His brother's actually Marvin Harrison's actually came out and said his brother's better than him.
Well,
it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me either. Just kidding.
But he's still in high school. He's still in high school.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll be a highly touted prospect. I agree. Michael Wilson, 15 targets, 18 targets over the last 2 weeks. Finally came down to earth last week when, Marvin Harrison Jr. was back. No one's there, and even Dortch is gone. I think they're going to have to throw 15 times to this guy. I don't
it's
love
a volume. It's a volume-based play.
I don't love the matchup, but there it is. Keep it going, though. Give me another one.
I mean, I was seeing the chat. A lot of people are talking about Jacoby Myers in this game. I don't know.
Acceptable.
It's acceptable. I got to look more into it. I haven't looked at his matchup yet. Maybe he's in play. Brian Thomas Jr. is just not getting it done this year. It's atrocious because last year he was awesome, and I just don't think he's got a rapport with T-Law.
He can't play with T-Law. They need to trade him. He'll be great on a different team.
Yeah, I mean, T-Law and him just don't. They're like oil and water, man. They don't mix.
Trevor does not throw deep. I'm telling you, he's not that good. And Mac Jones was the one when this guy was going crazy. It was Mac Jones at the helm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just bad news for BTJ. But I'll go down a little bit further. I think one guy that is standing out to me since I started building is Michael Pittman Jr. in this game.
Yes.
He is someone that I think he's kind of taken a lull. He's kind of gone into a lull a little bit. I think he comes right back up. And I think you're going to start seeing these 23s again with him and Danny Dimes. So, yeah, I like him a good bit this week as well.
I like it. Good choices, all in that mid zone here. BobbyWow, I got two, in this mid zone, and then we'll talk about the super cheapies later. I got a bunch of those.
Wilson's core for me. So agree with Burnsy, Pittman. Yeah. I'll be overweight on him as well. Love those two call outs, Burns. One guy the chat has correctly called out that I think isn't getting nearly enough love is T. Higgins.
Hell yeah.
He is more than 2K cheaper. I believe more than 2K cheaper than Jamar Chase with similar upside. Look, the floor obviously isn't as high as Jamar Chase, but T. Higgins could absolutely pop off in this game with Joey B. We've seen it happen time and time again. So, man, if you don't want to pay up at wide receiver, but you're looking for a pivot, T. Higgins is the perfect tournament pivot in my eyes. So kudos to the chat. I saw it a couple times. I fully agree on the T. Higgins shout there. But otherwise, I'm right there with Burns in this mid tier. Really, really love the call outs. I don't know if we're there yet, but Terry McLaurin would be the other kind of somewhat sneaky guy that I would mention, who's not really a sneaky anymore, but my gosh, 5,200 with Jaden Daniels back. I love Terry McLaurin in this matchup.
Yeah. You guys just nailed it. I don't even have anything to add. I'll just make a couple of iterations here. With Pittman, part of the reason that he's been poor is because he's faced really brutal coverages over the last few weeks. We didn't play him. Like, I'm not playing Pittman. Pittman is not a wide receiver that you want to play when Derek Stingley Jr. is going to be on him. He doesn't do well in that matchup. Right. Or, elite, CB1 for the Chiefs. This was a sauce week. No, not a sauce week.
AJ Terrell.
AJ Terrell. So basically, he's had a series of horrible matchups that predictably went as we might have expected. This week, there is nothing like that going on the Jaguars. That's what I wrote in my notes about him. I was like, the Jaguars don't have anybody that scurs me at cornerback. So, okay, we can go back to Pittman. And, as a bonus, the price came down. I love the Terry McLaurin call. Looked really good last week coming back. Of course, T. Higgins. You got to play some T. Higgins, guys. Whenever Jamar Chase is out there, the way he fucks you is it's a T. Higgins week. So you got to always play a little bit of both of those guys. And, if you want to play Zay Flowers just for shits and gigs, I would only do that with Lamar. But, hey, that's just me, right?
Stack him up with Lamar. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, only with Lamar. I think there's a mild argument for Godwin as well. He will make my player pool, I think. Godwin, just like knocking the dust off week after week after week. At some point, they're going to give him some real snaps, but I don't trust it. But
Baker's hurt, man. That injury just scares me too much. He has not looked the same.
No. It's like he's knocking the dust. You never want to. I don't need to be first on Godwin, but I'll allow 3-4% exposure in my MME just in case. Much more to that. I think Mike Evans might be back soon too. He's practicing again, so go pick him up in your fantasy league if you want. Guys, Turd Zone. I'm gonna throw a couple names out there.
Please.
First of all, I think we all agree that Adonai Mitchell is the man. When he actually can catch the ball, he does big things with it. And I'm going right back to it. Core play. 12
the man feels excessive, but yes, I think he's a solid option.
I mean, look, he finally started catching them. 7 only caught 2. 6 only caught 1. 12 and 8. Now, I also want to caution that Adonai Mitchell is Adonai Mitchell, and there's a reason that he stinks. So we can also play Mechie because we don't always have to specifically chase the guy that did it last week, right? It's okay to not do that.
And just really quick, just to prove your point a little bit, Adonai Mitchell is priced above Michael Pittman and Michael Wilson on FanDuel. He has been priced up to $6K.
Yes.
Wow.
And Wilson's under. Oh, I can't wait for FanDuel. But Pittman and Wilson are both under 6K. Oh, rubbing hands together. Excellent. Like Burns. Like Mr. Burns, not this Burns. Excellent. Mechie as well, though, guys. Don't sleep on Mechie. I know people want to sleep on Mechie. Don't. It could just as easily have been him last week. He got a bunch of targets. Didn't look good, but whatever.
Let's also just acknowledge it could also be none, right? This is the Jets.
Well, if I'm playing Tyrod Taylor, I'm going to play.
Right. Okay, there you go. If you're playing Tyrod.
I do like these guys. I do like.
Just want to clarify.
Yeah. But no, I do like these guys. I don't like that they're priced up. I enjoyed them under 4K very much more. But we have some under 4K names here that I want to mention. So I'd also suggest Darnell Mooney's not the worst play in the world, although he hasn't popped just yet. But with no Drake London in that matchup, why not? At some point, what did Darnell do last week? Ugh, always terrible.
His drops are he just drops the ball. It's unbelievable. His butterfingers. I
don't understand how you're I say this all the time. It doesn't click in my mind that you could be an NFL player and also drop passes. Like what else do you do? What do you do? If you don't know how to catch the ball to perfection, what the fuck are you good at? I don't get it. But anyway, I don't. Like, what else do you have to do? All you have to do is catch the ball, bro.
It's true.
Run the route, catch the ball. Okay, you have literally 2 things in life.
That's what you're paid for. Got to execute.
How are you not good at the one thing? Their hands are like 14 inches long. How do you not catch it? If I had 14-inch hands, Burns, my wife would be a lot happier.
Okay.
Sorry. All right. I mean, it's a lot. 14-inch hands. It's like 2 of these.
14-inch hands. Like a Demogorgon?
My hand is like a baby's ass. It's never seen a day of work. It's smooth, like a person who's never worked a day in their life.
Oh man!
Only the tips of my fingers from the typing. That's it.
Sweet Lord.
No calluses. Nothing. Clean and smooth. There's a couple of pay down options as well. Of course, Luke Burden. Got to bring up Luke. No Rome. I don't even care that the matchup is bad. I'm fine with that. Dontavian Wicks. All right. Couple names down here. Did I get them all, Burns? What do you say?
But where's your guy, Christian Watson? You didn't talk about him.
Oh my gosh, Christian Watson. Yeah. Did I just scroll past him? Yeah, I absolutely adore Christian Watson as well, guys. Sorry, this is actually will be one of my highest owned guys this week. 10 targets last week, 7 targets the week before. If Jolo is doing anything, this will be the focal point of the passing attack. Remember that they're not throwing to Tucker Kraft anymore. People forget he was the focal point. Tucker Kraft is gone. So now they're throwing to Christian Watson.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course, Devon Valley. Hell yeah, guys. Devon Valley's the other one.
Devon Valley, proceed with caution on him. That's all I'll say.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd rather proceed with caution on Chris Olave and take Valley, no?
He had a pop game.
And he doesn't look chalky now, but my goodness, everywhere I look, his name's being brought up. He's getting love. A great matchup for him, still 3,700, but he's had 1 pop game, so just be careful. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, but Vele was so. Can I make an argument for Vele? A process argument. Burns, you're
going to talk about how great he was in Denver.
No, he sucked in Denver, and he's like a 28-year-old second-year wide receiver. I don't even understand how that happens, but I don't get the math of his age and his years of experience. But here's the thing: the only argument I have, Devon Vele was on the practice squad with Tyler Shook for most of the season. So they both get kind of elevated off of the backup circuit to the starting circuit. And there's some thought that, hey, let me throw it to my boy. We've been practicing together all, you know how that happens? The backup, another quarterback comes in and he just has a wide receiver that all of a sudden he's targeting and you're like, what the fuck? And it's oh, they were on the B team together and they practiced together all year. And therefore they have some familiarity with one another. So that's my only argument for Vele is his ascension seemed to coincide with Tyler Shook becoming the quarterback.
And if his ownership really is going to stay down there, sub 5%, he's a great play. I don't think anyone will project better than him in that price range or lower. So great play if his ownership stays down.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Killer Cam? Good to see him on the live show. Killer Cam, I'm my guy. All right. Burns, a couple of cheapies. Did I miss anything?
I just got one question for Bobby. I know Adunze's out, but what about Zacchaeus? Everybody going to Burden, but Zacchaeus has had run in this game with Williams this year. I mean, not in this game, this year. And everybody just going right over to Luther Burden. But Zacchaeus is the guy who everybody forgets about, and it could be a pop-off game there again. I'm just trying to see how this Bears passing offense is going to be. Is it going to run through Moore? Is it going to run through Burden? Zacchaeus is going to be out there. I'm just trying to figure it out.
I was going to mention it. Is DJ Moore playable?
DJ Moore is absolutely playable. I think Luther Burden, the upside potential at his price, his upside is as good as anybody's. Team high, he had a season high 6 targets last week. We talk about it week in and week out. His role is ascending, and in Ben Johnson's offense, they draw up plays for him. They are trying to get him the football. He is their gadget guy, and he's more than that even. So he's great. He's a great play. I do think, in terms of stone min with a decent floor, Zacchaeus is certainly right up there with anybody else. He is a guy that is kind of like the safety valve when he's in there. And, we know the Packers pass rush is legit. So that could really open up, a handful of targets for Zacchaeus. where his ceiling isn't near what Burden's is, but his floor at 10 points at 3K certainly gets it done there. That is not out of the question at all.
I am liking this price point, Bobby Dubs. I did not realize Olamide was coming in here at 3K.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, he was one of the guys I was going to mention, so I love it. I love it a lot, Burnsy. His floor is right there.
I had to ask you about it because I was just wondering, because once Adunze went out, everybody's like, yeah, it's Burden. And I remember when it wasn't Adunze that went out. I can't remember who went out earlier in the year, but Zacchaeus popped.
Could have been DJ Moore game when did DJ Moore have a game where he was out?
It was somebody. I can't remember exactly who went out.
It was just Zacchaeus was just the WR3 at the beginning of the season, and Burden was still kind of learning. He was getting up to speed. So yeah,
one week he popped. I think it was 9, maybe. I don't know. It was one of the weeks, but he popped, and somebody was out, if I remember correctly.
Zacchaeus will get a handful of targets, though. That is all but guaranteed here. A 3K.
But the bird is the word.
Yeah, I mean, Burden is he's the first person that like you think of. I was just trying to figure out the offense and how they could go. Like Zacchaeus is, he's kind of like the quote unquote dart throw guy for me in this.
So I think Burden will get ownership because people are going to be somewhat excited about that. And Zacchaeus is going to be that sneaky, like, oh, fuck, everybody played Burden. And look at Olamide out here, getting 8 targets and having the 20-point game. They could both hit. Like, basically, somebody's hitting the right thing. If the Bears go double tight end, which one of Burden or Zacchaeus will they actually leave on the field?
The Bears already go double tight end. So, like, Zacchaeus is going to get an increase in snaps here. There's no question about it. I think, again, as the people are going to say I'm biased, I think at the prices, having one of the Bears trio of wide receivers in your lineup makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons on this slate, and DJ Moore included. DJ Moore, he's not as cheap as those guys and not nearly as exciting of a play to me as a Burden, but he's a guy that could pop off in a hurry. And again, we know the Bears and Ben Johnson are going to be designing kind of like these quick hitters and these slants to get DJ Moore the ball in as much space as possible, knowing Micah Parsons is on the pass rush. So I think one of these 3 guys will be in the optimal nuts lineup.
Weirdly, normally I wouldn't target, Bears players at the Packers. Like, this just seems like the worst ever matchup that you could ever.
And I agree. Not a great matchup. And I don't think I'll have any Caleb exposure, but they're just too cheap.
But I think these wide receivers can just get there on volume and cheapness alone. I don't think it's a good matchup, but that might not matter. And again, we literally just saw Bryce Young and crew tear up in one of the toughest matchups, just have his best game of his career. So, like, you never know. And literally the same Chicago team last week shocked the world by running it down the throats on the road at the Eagles. So, like, let's maybe give a little bit more credit, I say, to this team's ability to keep playing tough, even on a tough road matchup. I'll give them, this is a Bears team that's playing inspired ball. They're leading the division right now. They're going to be the top seed. What?
And the beauty is we're talking about 3K players. Okay. So even if their record was 2-9, or they're a bad team, it doesn't matter. Like, these are just cheap players in intriguing spots. That's all it is.
It's a spot to get involved in. All right, guys, unless you have some other thoughts about bargain basement, I think we gave out more than enough.
Yeah, I think so.
That's where I'll be. All those guys. Yep.
I think we gave out more than enough, but you can see now, how do I afford all these stud running backs? Oh, Luke Burden is there. You've got Olamide rocking for 3K. All those other names that we just talked about with Adani and Dontavian Wicks. I can't even remember. There's so many.
Yeah.
Yep. Whoever the fuck the WR2 is for the Cardinals. No, that's too much. We went too far. We went too far with that guy. Alan Lazard, WR4 for the Jets.
God.
No.
Stop.
No more. All right. I do think tight end is going to be a little trickier this week than it has been in over the past few weeks. Let's see what the field is trying to do here. And the field is confused, Burns. They don't know what to do.
With tight end?
Yeah. They don't know what to do. When you see AJ Barner as the second highest owned guy, you just need to throw that shit out and go, what? Who is putting this out there?
Yeah.
That is not a good tight end matchup at all. I don't get that one. But, Brenton Strange, I thought was going to be the chalk. It's like Tyler Warren coming in with a reasonable 12%, right. But there is no chalk here, Burns. It's just play whoever you want. They all look terrible.
I agree. I mean, the formulation of chalk is not really there like we've seen in other weeks. I think Brenton Strange is going to get higher. 11%. I really think he's going to be up and around the 15 to 20% range when it all locks out in the Millie Maker. So he's one guy that I think his ownership is a little low for what we're going to see. Guys at the top, Trey McBride and Brock Bowers. I mean, 3% and 5% respectively. I mean, that's low for these guys. These guys they've been crushing every week, and I'm really surprised that
8K is restrictive.
I know, and that
and
is.
Matchups.
Yep. And so the difference between Trey McBride and guys at his price range at the WRs is basically him versus Jamar Chase, because they're essentially at the same level of salary. And so if you think that Jamar Chase will explode, then you would rather play him versus Trey McBride. So that's kind of what you're looking at there. But yeah, I mean, the two guys up top, they've been getting it done every week. And we saw it last week at 7,800. Trey McBride still put up 22.2 points. So he got it done. Obviously there are plays below the salary points of these guys that are, they're viable. Your 3s and your 4K guys are viable. Like, there's some decent plays, like Juwan Johnson's a decent play again this week. I'm probably not going to go to Barner. I'm not understanding this chalk here.
Just for the chalkiness of it, that ownership I'm already like, I'm not doing that. I don't care what happens. I like the price, but I don't like chalk tight end garbage.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a good matchup either.
No.
So I'm not liking that one.
Warren could be interesting.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since he's had one of those games.
This is a pop-off spot for him for sure. Yeah. And he's
below the last week finally.
Yeah, he's below the Brock Bowers by $1,000. So Tyler Warren, I mean, for sure.
You know who the field's not on that I'm on? I'm going to get on this week, especially because the field's not on him.
Who's that?
Gooner.
Oh man,
dude, I've been running out Gooner.
What a weird spot to get on him.
A lot, and I don't know if this is the right spot. I looked at him. I just don't know if this is the right spot for him. This is a tough spot, but I mean, it could work. It could work.
Goonie here. I just like saying Gooner.
Yeah,
we know.
Yeah.
Another guy with Jaden Daniels coming back. Zach Ertz is definitely in play.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Love that call.
And I also think Mark Andrews is in play.
You want the vomit play of the whole thing? I like the Mark Andrews call. I think those Baltimore tight ends, great. I mean, this is a wide open thing, but Kyle Pitts.
Mm-hmm.
He's fine. Yeah, he's a great play. He's honestly metrically a great play here.
I know,
yep.
He is a good play.
But he was last week. He was last week too.
He was fine. He's got a high floor. He's like a cash game guy. But it makes me grow. I don't know why. He makes me sick.
Yeah, he got 15, I think, last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about his production rate is 15. Like 12 to 16 range is his production rate.
When he's having a great game, that's what he's doing.
I will never play him again when the Falcons are healthy, but as long as London is out and he stays at this 4K level, he's certainly viable.
Yeah. It's literally, when it made me nauseous to do it. And then I was like, only for cash games. I think he'll get you that cash game 12 or 13 that you need, and it's fine. But I don't know that Kyle Pitts is bringing that. It is a good matchup. It's a good matchup. Seattle's kind of weak against the tight end. Can work, but man. And then, somebody in the chat mentioned Hawkinson as well. If there's anything that Hawkinson might be able to do, it's catch a pass from a rookie, I guess. For this price point, okay.
I don't know if I can get there. The production from a fantasy perspective is just not there. Like, look at he got there at 11.9 last week, but look at everything in between the 11.9 and the 10.3.
Yeah, it's been terrible.
It's awful. So
it's really just a punt. I don't think Gunnar is getting more than 10 or 11 points either for 2,900, but it's just like, all right, if I just pay 2,900, like the cheaper you go, the less pressure you have to have a decent score from that tight end. Like if I'm under 3K and I'm getting a 7, that's still enough. You're like, okay, I'm not out of it yet.
Yeah. I mean, I ran Gunnar in single entry last week and he got me 11. I mean, I was like, hell yeah, 2,600.
Yeah. You were happy with it. You were happy with it. That's fine. That's more than enough. Gunnar. Yeah. Is there anybody we feel excited about that can actually pop a big score? Like Brenton Strange, there's some reasons to be enthusiastic. It's a very good matchup.
Someone mentioned Parkinson. He's a guy that made my sheet again. I played him last week and he let me down, but the targets are there. He had a bigger catch called back from a penalty and had previously scored touchdowns in 3 straight weeks. So I do like punting with Colby Parkinson again here. Am I thrilled? No, but he's a very viable punt.
Price is right. We didn't talk anything about Stafford and his crew, so at least that's one little window into it. Isaiah Likely coming off of 5-6 targets, maybe.
Not thrilled with the Mark Andrews contract situation, to say the least. But
you think Isaiah Likely is upset about it?
I believe he had some words to say. Yes.
Really? He said something out. He verbally.
Unless I could have gotten fake accounted on Twitter or whatever, but I'm pretty sure he was not thrilled vocally.
Interesting. I didn't know about that, but yeah. Okay. And Mark Andrews getting the $40 million fuck you money contract. Now he can stop caring as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It took Travis Kelce had to start dating like the richest celebrity in the world, and then he stopped caring. He's like, The only reason Travis Kelce works out is because Taylor's like trainer is there, like, get in there and work out too.
She's got FU money.
So does Kelce. These football players have that. Darren Waller, could he have a miracle? I say yes. Yeah,
he could.
Good.
Is he cheap enough?
I mean, he's 3,800. I wish he was less. It's funny. The difference between 3,100 and 3,800 is virtually nothing. But in my mind, I'm like, at a $3,800 guy, I need like a 16. Where the 3K guy, I'm kind of okay if I get like a 7 or an 8.
Well, 3,800, there's a handful of guys that could outscore him, and then your host. At 3,100, he could be the lowest scorer and still make it happen.
Compare him to like a Donnie Mid, like who's the 38, like a Luke Burden. Those guys are 3,800. Olamide. So now we're
even like Harold, even tight ends, Harold Fan and K. Dot. Those guys at tight end position. Then your host.
Very tricky. Very tricky. Oh yeah, Mason Taylor versus dad and uncle's old team.
He's burned me a couple weeks in a row, so why not again for me?
I'm not playing Mason Taylor. I don't know. Is he really? He just hasn't gotten it done.
He hasn't recently, but he had some pop-off target games earlier in the season, 8, 12, 7.
This game was crazy. I think that was Justin Fields, though.
It was.
Yeah.
Only Justin Fields can throw 12 balls your way, and somehow you can only manage to get a 17. Like
that wasn't that the game where his mom and dad were making out in the press box or something?
Yes. I'm not sure if
he hasn't been the same since.
I'm not sure if
it was definitely his mom. Yes.
It could have just been his dad's girlfriend. I don't know.
I guess whatever.
I'm not saying somebody was cheating on somebody, but like he brought a smoke show with him. I don't know. It looked like an Instagram model to me. It didn't look like someone's mom. Josiah was at that game. Binocular. All right. Any other thoughts at the tight end position, guys? We'll talk about some defenses this week that can smash.
I like using the extra flex spot for a wide receiver this week for the first time in a while. That's the only other thing I'll say.
Flex wide receiver this week. Definitely not double tight end week. Guys, we've been on the show saying double tight end week like 3-4 weeks in a row, and it's worked. Last week I smashed with Bowers, Trey McBride. It's been great. I'm not doing double tight end this week. I don't like any of the tight ends. The only way I do double tight ends is if I force McBride as my flex, and I don't even consider that a tight end. He's more of a stud wide receiver. I'd put McBride up there with all the other wide receivers at 8K as just as good. Not the best matchup, but kind of just as good. All right, boys, let's move on. Let's talk about a couple of defenses that we are into this week. Top chalk defense, rightfully so, in my opinion, are the Browns at home against the Titans. If you can squeeze 3,700 down out, I'd be on that, right? Yes. Titans defense getting a little bit of interest at 2,900. I think Commanders for 2,800 is really interesting going up against McCarthy. McCarthy stinks. And, again, I could be wrong. He could turn good, but my eyes tell me that he stinks. As far as I've seen out of McCarthy, he's had one good quarter of football so far this year, and that was it. Got the Bucs against the young Tyler Shook. Good enough. I don't like the Vikings. I don't like the Raiders, although that 2K price point is the lowest priced defense of the entire year. The lowest price, Burns. 2K.
For good reason.
There was once a defense that was priced like at 100. Like they priced it at 0.
I don't remember that defense, but I remember that time, though.
Something happened that a player was priced at 0.
They had a defense. I think it was probably back 7-8 years ago where it was 1,800, and everybody jumped on it, and it failed. I was like,
it's always going to fail. Like there's a reason they put it that cheap, but like,
but would it be outlandish? Would it be the craziest thing if Bo Picks went in to Vegas and struggled? We saw it earlier this season. He threw 2 picks. He looked terrible. They scored 10 points, barely eked out a win, and that was at home.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that shocking. But this Denver team is like Jekyll and Hyde anyway.
I'm not saying smash them, but I think they're playable at min price. That's all.
So let's just do this rather than high, low, any of that. Burns, give me 3 defenses that are popping strong for you in the model.
Yeah, I mean, you named a couple of them right off. The Browns.
Browns are the shit this week, guys. If you're not playing the Browns, it's because you don't have 3,700 left.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Browns are awesome spot. Washington Commanders, they're in a good spot. I also think the Broncos are in a really good spot when you got a guy that he throws interceptions at a high rate and he gets sacked at a high rate.
Geno Smith could get sacked 12 times in this game. I would have no shock at all.
What more do you want? I mean, look at what the Browns did 3 weeks ago when Myles Garrett and company had like 10 sacks. They broke the slate. Yeah. So we
loaded up on that, by the way, too.
Are they going to get to that level? I don't know. Maybe I could see them do 7-8 sacks in this game. It's there.
I need a lower cost one, Burns.
I've been toying. Here's a couple that I've been toying with. I toyed with the fact that Lamar's just not the same this year. So I've toyed with the Steelers on the road, but they're not a good defense on the road. The one that I've been kind of going back and forth with, the Jets. I've been going back and forth with them.
Waiting for it.
And then one for a crazy one that would only work in super large field GPPs because of the fact that the efficiency of Jordan Love at home has not been high. I have really started thinking about that the Bears could actually have a pop-off game in this one. the Bears defense.
That would be
Kyler Gordon is back.
Jalen Johnson is back.
back.
Edwards is back.
So the whole secondary is fully healthy now, unlike what we've seen all year up until this point. So that's kind of how I approach it. Plus, I add to the fact that Jordan Love is just not that highly efficient at home versus on the road. That's why I wanted this game in Chicago. Yeah, that's kind of one where it's like large field GPP. This makes sense. So, and they're 2,400. So
yeah, I'm fine with it. Bobby, anything to add?
Fully agree with Bernsey. I'll give you 2 on FanDuel. That makes sense because they're way cheaper there than they are on DraftKings. The Titans, I think, on FanDuel make a lot more sense. 3,400. They're basically bottom of the barrel. And not to emotionally hedge too much here, but I think the Packers are playable, as like a mid to low tier option. Bears don't turn the ball over much, but it's going to be tougher without Roma Dunze at the end of the day. So I think Micah Parsons is a stud, and we've seen the Packers, do Packer things. So at Lambeau Field, nonetheless.
I love it. I'm not going to add anything to it, guys. You guys just nailed it. Give me the Browns. Give me the Denver if I'm paying up. Browns if I'm paying up. I like your call on the Packers as well. And, the pay downs are not that great. The pay downs, none of them really pop like crazy.
Although I will have some Raiders after Bo Pick's performance earlier this season.
I think it's Commanders for me. If I need to go under 3K, it's like McCarthy stinks. And so I'm just going to target that until it doesn't work. Guys, that's going to do it. Reminder, Players Club, early start tomorrow, 10 a.m. You guys got to wake up. I know. Got to wake up early. Players Club, 10 a.m. We're going to be building lineups right here on in the VIP chat. So make sure to pop in for that. Also, remember that we are continuing to crush arbitrage betting over at Sharp App. So if you want to check out Sharp App, free, you get a 7-day free trial if you go to sharp.app/geek and just sign up. Doing that, and you can check out what arbitrage betting is all about. It is a method for betting where you always win every single bet. Yes, I will be ordering some McDeliver. I have to try this McGriddle.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Tomorrow morning, I'll be having McGriddles. I don't want it, though. It's so gross. I hate McDonald's.
That's what you say before you try
I'm getting a breakfast burrito for the show. And what else? Yes, so early start tomorrow. Big Sunday slate coming up, guys.
The people want a McGriddle, Geek. They want a McGriddle. Got to give them what they want.
They do want it. But that's going to do it for us this time, guys. Like, subscribe, notification bell. There might be a McGriddle tomorrow. Maybe not. No one wants to see me mukbanging down a McGriddle. Trust me, on camera like it's gross.
The chat begs to differ.
You can't eat and stream. There is no Bojangles anywhere near where I live, or else it would have double the business because I'd be going there every day. It's my kind of thing. I'll go for the Bojangles. I've heard great things about that fried chicken. Never had it. Never had Raising Cane's. Never had Bojangles. I did have this other one that was not that good called Zaxby's.
Yeah, that's a down south thing.
Yeah, I was in Florida and I tried Zaxby's, like, chicken finger, and they weren't that good.
Yeah. Have you had Chick-fil-A?
Oh yeah. We got a Chick-fil-A in the neighborhood over here.
It's a creme de la creme of fast food.
Yeah, I like Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just got our Chick-fil-A like a couple of months ago.
Was the line wrapped all the way around the building like 5 times?
Yeah, but they move it quick. Like they do. They're awesome.
Geek goes there just to roll down his window and turn up his nose at the people in the McDonald's drive-through.
I go to the McDonald's. We have nice people at our McDonald's too, like nice workers there. Shockingly, most New York McDonald's. No, it is shocking. Most New York McDonald's, you do not get pleasant service. They're just like getting into fights with people half the time. They get crazy ass customer. I don't blame them. They're on guard. They're like, what? Like they're not friendly at all. But in my neighborhood, there's none of that in my town. It's lovely, lovely here.
I'll tell you what. You deliver a McGriddle tomorrow. I'll wear a turd hat on next week's Tournament Tactics.
McGriddle delivery. I'll be throwing up during the show. Like, watch Kevin get nauseous and start puking while he's building lineups. This is going to be a lot of fun. Guys, that's going to do it, though. Helmets up. We appreciate you guys being with us all season long. 'Tis the season for making money. So let's keep that going. Don't forget to sign up at DFS Army, promo code GEEK, 10% off. Get in there, become a VIP at DFS Army. Danny Pettiford, you absolutely can watch the Players Club VIP whenever you want. That stream lives in our Discord and on the DFS Army YouTube channel. So if you're a DFS Army subscriber, you can just go in the Discord or on the DFS Army website and click on the Players Club. You can watch it whenever. You do not have to be there live. I don't expect anybody to wake up at 10 a.m. As a matter of fact, New York 10 is like 5 in the morning in LA. You don't want to do that. It's still nighttime in LA. We got subscribers out in Australia. I'm not making you wake up early. We got them all over the world. UK, we got subscribers in the UK. We do a little soccer. Australia, Aussies. We don't have any New Zealanders. They don't allow any gambling in New Zealand. None of it. New Zealand's a weird place.
I would go there. Starts next week's stream.
I would go there for the Lord of the Rings tour. Stay in a hobbit hole for a couple days. Burns, family trip?
Sure.
Would you do it?
What, to New Zealand?
Yeah, we're staying, not just New Zealand, staying in a hobbit hole.
Yeah,
like your Airbnb in New Zealand is actually built into the side of a dirt mound.
Yeah, hell yeah. I tell my kids, suck it up.
I would do it too. I would do it. My kids are adults, though. They're like, fuck you, we're not doing that. I have no control over them.
Samwise.
All right. Another thing coming up, by the way, I'm going to tease this. We are going to be doing some best ball playoff strategy content over the coming week or two. I got to do a little bit of research. I've got a best ball superstar co-hosting with me.
Who?
Planning something.
You got Cez coming on?
No, Ray Zanny. Ray. Me and Ray's going to come on. He promised to put the dog. He promised to put the dog outside for the show. That's important. And seriously, Ray crushes it, man. He's got like
he's a beast.
He's got like 50 plus lineups going through on BBM, which is like he might have the highest ratio of anybody of advancing teams. This guy Chess Liam was making fun of him, saying he's got too many lineups going through, and that it's better if you have fewer.
The kids
There's a whole thing going on Best Ball Twitter. It's crazy. Best Ball Twitter is a crazy world.
So a lot of hipster high fives going on there.
Yeah. It's there. The hipsters are out of control, and that's where the hipster high five was invented, by the way, in the best ball streets. Best ball bros, hipster high fives all over the place. All right. I'm going to keep this going. This outro, I'm just going to think of other things to say. We got
to hit him with the song, man. Got to get that
song. All right,
song,
guys. Let's do it. We'll give you the song one more time on the outro. Like, subscribe, DFS Army code GEEK, 10% off. Don't forget Sharp app, all that good stuff, guys. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you hanging out. We love you all. Helmets.
Let's go! Geek on the keys, Kevin Allen with the vision. BobbyWow 2 times already won 2 millions, no fiction. Burns in the shark lab, calculating the math. Wrote the damn book on how to run up a bag. Desire pull up, the MILF Slayer in the building. GPP trophies on his neck, keep the whole chat thrilled in. Third hat, who? Not us, we eating. Heat it. Oh! Tournament tactics, we stacking the bags again. Millie making hunters, yeah, we cashing in. Helmets up, blue moon in the cup, boner alert. That over under going up. Core players lock, domination station pop. Props based projections make the whole field drop.